Hey yo guys, hope you're having a great day. Now I know, this topic for the video is late, but it's Christmas time and it's hard to make videos when you got family around, friends that don't stop bothering you. It's really hard to find time. So I just had this half done and I decided just to finish it. So with that, the final episode of Mandalorian Season 2 came out, and what a wild ride of an episode we were not expecting. Now just a quick spoiler alert, just in case you haven't seen it, but you should have seen it already because it's already been so long. So without further ado, let's get into it. The episode starts out with a hot chase as Slave 1 is in pursuit of the Landman-class T-4A shuttle. In the shuttle is Dr. Pershing, the scientist who was helping Moff Gideon extract Grogu's blood. As Slave 1 fires at the shuttle, it reminds me of the scene in Attack of the Clones when Jango is chasing Obi-Wan over Geonosis. It's great to see the Slave 1 back in action. Boba hits the shuttle with an ion blast and disables and prepares to board the ship. As they come aboard, one of the pilots holds the doctor hostage for leverage and starts to taunt Cara Dune. He tells her he recognizes the tear tattoo on her cheek and says he was on the first Death Star when he saw Alderaan blown up. It gets to the point where Cara can't take his taunting anymore and just blasts the pilot's face off. The crew then go out to seek Bo-Katan, where we find her and Casca Reeves in a cafe. We also get to see Bo's ship, the Gauntlet, for the first time in live action, and it looks good. And when they ask them for help, a confrontation breaks out. The reason for the fight is because Boba says it's ridiculous to claiming Mandalore, and Bo-Katan recognized Boba's voice of that of a clone. She tells him he's a disgrace to his armor, to which Boba says it's his father's armor, but Bo-Katan quickly jibes back saying Jango was his donor, and he's just a clone, to which Boba replies saying it's his last clone voice she will ever hear. Then Casca and him break out into a fight. Bo-Katan breaks up the fight and tells Din Djarin they will help him as long as Moff Gideon surrenders to her and that she gets the Darksaber, to which Din has no problem with. The crew then regroup and try to form a plan to seize a light cruiser, where Moff Gideon is on. Dr. Pershing tells them there's one flaw in their plan is that they're unaware of the Dark Troopers, and these were not just any Dark Troopers, but Tier 3 Dark Troopers, which meant they didn't need a human driver, but they were all droids. Just think of them kind of like the Hulkbuster, but robot controlled, with heavy blaster armor. The team jumps out of hyperspace and the plan is in motion. As they come out of hyperspace, they try to make the stolen shuttle look like it's under attack by Slave 1. As they fly closer to the cruiser, they are met with a Starfighter squadron and are not clear to land, but Casca ignores it and makes a crash landing onto the ship, while Boba takes out the remaining ties and then jumps back into hyperspace. As the shuttle settles and the ramp drops, they attack and kill all the stormtroopers that are in their way. As they keep pushing through, Moff Gideon activates the Dark Troopers. Now the Dark Troopers start up and some dubstep track starts playing in sync, and it kind of took me out of the experience a little. Now don't get me wrong, it was cool, but it just didn't work for Star Wars. Maybe in Cyberpunk. While Cara, Fennec, Casca, and Bo-Katan take out the stormtroopers, Din Djarin makes his way to the room where the Dark Troopers are being held. Din is a little too late to close the door, and one Dark Trooper makes it out. Now these Dark Troopers are very robotic-like in their movement and have really heavy armor. It kinda reminds me of Terminator, as they're almost unstoppable. Din has trouble fighting the Dark Trooper as his helmet's beat to a pulp into the wall. Everything he throws at it won't work until he uses the Beskar spear and thrusts it through the neck of the trooper. He then opens the vacuum door, sucking the rest of the Dark Troopers into space. The ladies push their way to the bridge, where they take everyone out, but Moff Gideon is nowhere to be found. Din finds the cell holding Grogu, but Moff Gideon is there with the Darksaber over his head ready to strike. Din demands that he give Grogu over, and surprisingly Gideon agrees. He says he sees the bond between them, that he already got what he needed, which was Grogu's blood. But all was too easy, and Gideon activates the Darksaber and starts swinging at Din. Din Djarin is obviously taken by surprise and is only protected by his pure Beskar armor, until he gets a grip and pulls out his spear. Now the two of them start to duel, and I noticed whenever they locked blades, the Beskar on the spear would begin to turn red with heat. And this makes me wonder if the Darksaber was held there for a bit longer, if it would melt the Beskar. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comments. After an intense duel, Din gets the best of Gideon and has him on the floor at spear point. Din takes Gideon to the bridge where everyone else is, but Bo-Katan has a concerned look on her face as she sees Gideon in cuffs. Gideon then tells the group that Bo is mad because he didn't surrender to her, and that now she has to fight Din to take the Darksaber and claim it. Now this is interesting because in Rebels, Sabine does the same thing that Din is trying to do and yield the saber to her. In Rebels she takes it and is recognized as a leader, but for some reason she can't do it here. That's another video for another time though. Gideon keeps taunting her to kill Din, and just as she's about to respond, an alert comes up. As they check for life forms, there are none. Gideon tells them it's the Dark Troopers and that it's going to be a hell of a fight as they already had a huge circle with just one. The Dark Troopers line up outside the door and the crew starts to gear up for a standoff. As the doors begin to give way, Gideon taunts them saying that they are good fighters, but after every last standoff, everyone is dead, but that he will survive with Grogu since they are programmed not to kill them. As the Dark Troopers are about to come through, an alert chimes in indicating there's a ship incoming. They look out the window and see an X-Wing come into view. Cara makes a laughing joke saying, "One X-Wing? Great, we're saved." As the X-Wing lands onto the ship, Grogu's ear pop up, and in a way that he senses who just arrived. The Dark Troopers stop breaking down the doors and turn to face the newcomer. As they take a look on the cams, we see a hooded figure walk into view. A lightsaber is activated and a figure starts cutting down the Dark Troopers. Bo-Katan whispers under her breath, saying, "A Jedi?" To this, Gideon starts to look very concerned. The next scene, we see the lightsaber come into color, and it's green. And that can only be one thing: Luke Skywalker. I couldn't believe it. He walked with grace, cutting down everything that stood in his path. Swinging his lightsaber and using the Force, Gideon watches in horror as he stands up and blasts Bo-Katan, then points it at Grogu and fires, but did manage in time to block the shots with his body armor. Gideon tries to commit suicide, but Kara stops him and knocks him out. We take a look back at Luke as he demolishes the troopers and uses a move that Anakin used in Revenge of the Sith when he had blocked a blaster ball behind his back. Just a cool little nod. Grogu watches Luke touching the screen as he feels the energy Luke has. Luke enters the elevator coming up to the bridge, and the Dark Troopers prepare to stop him. As Luke steps out, the scene instantly reminds me of the Darth Vader hallway scene we got in Rogue One. Kinda guess it's like father like son in a way. Luke moved with grace and elegance, and the Dark Troopers are no problem. This wasn't the aggressive Luke we see in Return of the Jedi using Form 5 Xian, more calm and collective as Master Yoda in Form 4 Ataru. He makes quick work of the droids and uses Force Crush to take out the last one. Now I can't imagine Luke has full power because here, he was merely just playing with them. Din opens the door to let Luke in. As he steps in, he lifts his hood and we see a de-aged Mark Hamill, and it doesn't look too bad. Now I don't know if Mark stood in the shot himself or there was just use his face, but in the credits it does say Mark Hamill. It was so good to see young Luke again, not the grumpy, depressed Luke we got in the sequels. Din asks if he's a Jedi, to which Luke responds, "I am." Just hearing him say that gave me chills all over. He asks Grogu to come with him, but he wants Din's approval first since he's basically a father figure and their bond was so tight. As Din holds Grogu telling him to go, he takes off his helmet to see him with his own eyes. It's nice not to when Vader took off his helmet to see Luke's face in Return of the Jedi. Din starts to get watery eyes as he puts Grogu down and starts to walk, but he hugs his boot. Then we get another surprise. R2-D2 comes in and Grogu is excited to see the droid. I wonder if R2 and Grogu knew each other since they were both in Jedi Temple together at the same time. Luke picks up Grogu and looks at Din, saying, "May the Force be with you," then turns to the elevator. Din is holding back tears as he watches Grogu leave, but knowing he's going to a better place. And the music here just hits the spot just right. Luke turns and we get to see one last look at them, and then the elevator shuts and the episode ends. Now, if that didn't give you the Star Wars chills, then I don't know what will. It was such a beautiful ending and left us with so many questions. What's going to happen to Din Djarin? Will we see Luke's temple? Where's Thrawn? I know there was an end credits scene, but that's a whole video in itself. Let me know what you guys' theories for the next season down below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. May the Force be with you.